Please welcome to the stage, Mr. Les Brown.
Thank you. Let's give Carlette a round of applause for a wonderful introduction. Thank you very much. You may be seated. It's a pleasure to be here and to be able to spend some time with you and some thoughts and understand, and this is very unusual, that I get a chance to have some questions from the audience. So I'm very excited and looking forward to that. First time I've ever been here. And when I went in the room, we had a meet and greet earlier, and the people in the room, the mayor from 2 different cities and other representatives who made this possible. The sponsorship, let's give them a round of applause, please. It's just such a positive energy. And so I want to share some thoughts with you, and then I'd look forward to your asking me some questions. I want you to meet members of my team. That's Cerny, raise your hand over here, from Malaysia, and Michelle, give them a round of applause. And my partner and a person who keeps me together, Dr. Julie Van Putten. She's an MD and PhD. Only 1% of doctors have that distinction. So she's a medical doctor, yes. And she has a PhD in integrative medicine, and so she's a very brilliant person, and she's a speaker. Do y'all have women's conferences here? Oh, you got to bring her in. She's bad up in here. Yes, indeed. She's got it from Trinidad. All right. So I'd like for you right now, as we're talking about entrepreneurship, and it deals with all areas of our lives. I want you to think about 3 major goals that you'd like to achieve, something that's important to you. 3 major goals you'd like to achieve. 1 in your personal life. My first personal goal was to buy my mother a home. I'm one of 7 children that my mother adopted. And as a kid, that was a dream and vision I had. That's how I became an entrepreneur. My mother only had a 3rd grade education, and she worked for wealthy families on Miami Beach. She cooked for them, and we ate the food left over from the families that she cooked for. And my mother was a very good cook. She could fix a sweet potato pie so good you couldn't eat it with your shoes on. Had to take your shoes off so you could wiggle your toes, all right? And she kept their children. And we wore the hand-me-down clothes of the children that she kept. And as a kid, walking around these big, beautiful mansions, I used to say, Mama, what is it, Leslie? When I become a man, I'm going to buy you a big, beautiful home just like this. How many of you have somebody that you'd like to do something for that's very special to you? You raise your hands, please. Okay? Now, and so that was a major goal that I had, a vision that I had of wanting to buy her a home, and I was able to do that and to take care of her. When I turned 18, Mama never paid another bill. Next thing is, I want you to think about your financial freedom number. One of the things about entrepreneurs, we enjoy making money. Am I correct on that? You know? People say money won't make you happy, but everybody want to find out for themselves. Have a friend named Rita Davenport say, money ain't important, but it's right up there with oxygen. And let me tell you something, fellas, even if you're as homely as I am, you got some money, women will find something cute on you. Oh, he's got earlobes like Denzel Washington, honey. I used to be so broke, I'd walk past a bank and trip the alarm. Creditors call the house of my children when they answer the phone and say, my daddy say he ain't home. So I want you to think about your financial freedom number, and whatever that number is, I want you to multiply that 100 times. 100 times. I found that most people fail in life not because they aim too high and miss. Most people fail in life because they did what I did for years. Aim too low and hit, and many don't aim at all. So I want you to think about that and that figure as you multiply, and I mean that sincerely, because given my circumstances, if both my birth parent and mother came in here right now, I would not know either one. being labeled educable, mentally retarded, and put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade, and failing again in the 8th grade and no college training, no one could have convinced me that I would be doing what I do right now. And I can tell you, I don't know you, but here's what I know about you. You have something special. You have greatness within you. You have the ability to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. And so I want you to think about the personal goal you have. I want you to think about your financial freedom number. And I want you to think about your social contribution. You know, Horace Mann said we should be ashamed to die until we've made some major contribution to humankind. And trust me on this, ladies and gentlemen, I don't care what anyone says. We live in the greatest country in the world, bar none. Be clear about that. That gives you an opportunity to live your dreams. It gives you an opportunity to create something that you feel good about. That gives you the opportunity to control your own financial destiny. That's not common. I just finished speaking in over 23 countries in the last 2 years, and I'm telling you, every time when I'm coming back to America, I start humming, God bless America. I don't want no problems coming through customs. I'm ready to come back home. You hear me? And so think about something that you like to do that you'll be able to make a difference. How many of you want to leave a legacy? Raise your hands, please. Part of what I'm going to be doing is teaching people. I'm going to do a seminar collaborating with Dr. Julie Van Putten on, you're more powerful than cancer. I'm a 20-year cancer conqueror because of God's grace and mercy. Yeah. And trust me, it's better to be seen than to be viewed. Can you feel the brother of it here, A few years ago, my PSA was 2,400. And 1 to 4 is normal. Now it's 0. So I'm cancer-free, debt-free, and drama-free. As you think about the goals and dreams that you have, and in your vision for creating entrepreneurship, let us say together, it's possible. Yeah, 86% of people never pursue their dreams and have good ideas. But because of the fear that they won't make it, because of fear of failure, they don't even attempt to do it. I was among those. I didn't do what I'm doing right now for 14 years when I first got the idea of becoming an entrepreneur. When I saw Zig Ziglar, who was a very good friend of mine, and we toured together. And Zig had this philosophy, if you help enough people get what they want, they will help you get what you want. And I used to see Zig on stage and different other speakers. I would go see them, and my heart say, you can do that. How many of you like to help people? Raise your hands, please. Well, this is the kind of business that I'm in. My heart said, you can do that. But when we started going back to the car, leaving the place, my mind became activated. And my mind said, Les Brown, you can't do that. You don't have any experience in entrepreneurship. You can't do that. You were labeled educable, mentally retarded, and put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade. Failed again when you were in the 8th grade. You can't do that. You don't have any college training. You never worked for a major corporation. And what makes you think that AT&T, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's Corporation, General Electric, these are clients I have now. What makes you think that they're going to bring you in to teach them how to do something that you've never done? What makes you think that you can compete with people with PhDs and MBAs? How many of you ever thought about something you wanted to do and you talk yourself out of it? Raise your hands, please. And so I talked myself out of it. And part of becoming an entrepreneur, and write this down, you have to have a spirit of optimism. You've got to be able to say, I can do that. But here's a mistake that I made. I said, I can do that. That's what I felt in my heart. Then my mind asked, how? Don't ever ask yourself how. How is none of your business. My favorite book says, lean not unto thine own understanding, in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. And so there's some things that you can do that you don't know now. And don't decide to stop because you don't have the money. You will be able to attract the people, the things, and everything you need once you get started and start working. And I stopped myself. I stopped myself in my tracks for 14 years. I am embarrassed to tell you that. And so as you look at your goals and look at your dreams, from the first step in this conference is based on this mindset, having a strategy to improve your mind. We have some tools that's available. As you listen over and over and over again, it will begin to retrain your thinking. Dr. Carter G. Woodson, come forth, sir. He said, if you can determine what a man shall think, you never have to concern yourself with what he will do. He said, if you can make a man feel inferior, you never have to compel him to seek an inferior status, for he will seek it himself. And if you can make a man feel justly an outcast, you never have to order him to go to the back door. He'll go without being told. And if there's no door, his very nature will demand one. And most of us live in a world where we've been told more about our limitations rather than our potential. How many have ever been told you could not do something? Raise your hands, please. Yes, MIT did a study. The study indicated, if I tell you, sir, you can't do that, you can't have that business, somebody else has to come along and say, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it 17 times to override that one negative comment. That's why my favorite book says, faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing. And so the tools that we've made available, as you listen to them over and over and over again, we produced over 643 millionaires. And write this down, you have to program yourself to success. Martin Seligman, he wrote a book called Learned Optimism. And in this book, he talked about the fact that between the ages of 0 and 5, we determine what's available to us and what's not available, based upon our circumstances, based upon our environment, our parents, the educational system that we are in. All of those things help to formulate a belief system on how you begin to show up in life. That's why we're told in my favorite books that you know, be ye not conformed to this world. In other words, don't think like everybody else. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And that's a daily, constant process. I have to work on that all the time, every day when I get up, when I go for walks. I say, I thank God that my body has a strong immune system that produces powerful white blood cells that kill quickly and permanently every renegade cancer cell that's in my body. I thank God that I'm healed, that I'm successful, that I'm manifesting wealth each and every day, that I'm a good father, that I'm a better person. I affirm that, speaking it as if it were. And I tell you, at this stage of my life, just February 17th, I turned 71. And you know I look good for 71. Come on. But I like the energy in this room. I feel like family. So can I just share a little secret with you? Say, go ahead, Les. My mama said my mouth was like a refrigerator. I can't keep nothing, all right? So anyhow, I just turned 71 February the 17th. What is your name, sir? Mark. Good, you had to think about it for a moment. All right, thank you, Mark. Okay, you and I were in special education together. All right, no problem. But anyhow, I do cheat. I don't dye my hair because I have an allergic reaction to dye. However, I do use mascara. I'm sorry, I do it. My children said, Daddy, you look distinguished with your gray hair. I said, at 71, I'm not trying to look distinguished. I'm trying to look young. You know what I mean? Now, you're going to need a paintbrush over here, all right? Don't be looking around. But I got to tell you this before I finish my message. I spoke in the Georgia Dome, and I want all of you to email me and say, send me that speech. I've spoken to the Georgia Dome for over 80,000 people. It's called It's Not Over Till I Win. And so at the end of my presentation, I got a rousing standing ovation, and I was backstage, and they said, there's someone here to see you. And I turned around, the lady said, sir, our speaker canceled, and is it possible that you can speak for us? I know you must be tired, but we would like for you to come over to the Georgia World Congress Center and speak for us. I said, no, you're right, I am tired. She said, we can pay your full fee. I said, the Lord is able, you know? You know, Red Fox said, money can't buy you happiness, but can make a big down payment, you know? So they took me over to the Georgia World Congress Center, and I looked in the room. It was a very intimate setting, and people were close to the stage. So I said, excuse me for a moment, I have to go to the restroom. So I went in there, and I had to tighten things up, you know, get it together. Some of them had broke loose, you know. So when I came to the end of the stage, this lady wanted everybody to know she knew me. She said, there he is, Les Brown. I came up on the stage, she kissed me on the cheek. I kissed her on the cheek and left this big black smudge on her face. So I didn't know what to say, so I just sat down. You know? So the people down front in the front row said, there's something on your face. As she looked at me, she said, what are they saying? I said, I don't know. And so finally, one nosy lady came down front, opened up her purse and gave her a mirror. Now, nobody asked her to do that. Getting in the Kool-Aid, don't know the flavor. She looks and sees a big smudge on her face and say, how did this get here? I said, I don't know, you think maybe this rubs off? But now I use waterproof Mademoiselle. Sometimes a man has got to do what he's got to do, you know what I mean? Let us say together again, it's possible. Yes, that they did a study of some top entrepreneurs around the world, and they wanted to find out what was the common denominator among them that allowed them to reach their goals. And here's what they discovered, that 85% of them reached their goals because of their attitude, 15% because of their aptitude. So write this down, mental resiliency is very important. That's why you don't want to leave here without, even though we have a limited number of them, tools that can help you be strong, because when you have goals, things are going to happen. Think it not strange that you face the fiery furnaces of this world. You will, not you might. You will have tribulations. You're going to have setbacks. People are going to make promises that they don't keep. Things are going to happen that you cannot anticipate. Let us say together, it's necessary. So it's necessary that you work on yourself on an ongoing basis, and that's why the program that sponsored this event here is so important, and that I encourage you to become a part of it, because what it will do is give you the support and the tools and the training that you need so that you are properly equipped for the 21st century. How we do business has changed dramatically. How many of you understand that? Raise your hands, please. How many of you know there's no such thing as job security? Raise your hands, please. The 40-40 plan is gone, where you can go to college, graduate, get a job, work 40 hours a week for 40 years. How many of you know that's gone? Raise your hands, all right? And so today, and what this organization is going to do is teach you the things that you need to do so that you can control your own personal economy. And so mindset is major. Here's the other thing. Write this down. Upgrade your skill set. That's one of the things that entrepreneurship does, and that's what the organization that has sponsored this event will help you to do, is to be current, to upgrade your skill set so that you can continue to be competitive, so that you can continue to get market share, so that you can continue to improve the customer service experience that you want to provide for your customers. There's a book called Average is Over. The day is gone where you can be average. You've got to operate at a new level. You've got to operate at a level of mastery. Henry David Thoreau said, do not go where the path may lead, go where there's no path and leave a trail. And so when I decided to get in this area, I followed Zig Ziglar and Jim Rohn and Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, and I saw them, I studied them. Write this down. Study the people that are mastering it, that are doing what it is you want to do. If it's in finance, if it's in real estate, if it's in the stock market, you want to watch them and study them, because success leaves clues. And I studied them. And here's the other thing that will really amaze you. You have to remind yourself that you have greatness within you, because life will challenge you. And many times, the people around you who should encourage you and motivate you and inspire you, they won't be there. They're going to try and discourage you. How many of you have had that? Raise your hands, please, okay? So I can just tell you, what people think about you is none of your business. Had I listened to people who told me that I shouldn't do this, that I could not do it, that corporations would not hire me because I didn't have a college education, because I didn't have the experience, I didn't have any paper behind my name, I wouldn't be doing this right now. And so I can tell you, everybody repeat after me, please. Live full. Die empty. And this stays on my mind constantly. Dr. Howard Thurman, he was a mentor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Mahatma Gandhi and Albert Schweitzer. He wrote, "Deep is the hunger, the voice of the genuine." And one night when I couldn't sleep well, I just had 238 radiation seed implants, and my PSA continued to increase, and I was just reading something for a level of mental and emotional and spiritual comfort. And he wrote these words that stayed with me. He said, "The ideal situation for a man or woman to die is to have family members praying with them as they cross over. But imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed and standing around your bed, the ghost of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the talents given to you by life, but you, for whatever reason, you never pursued those dreams. You never used those gifts. You never used those talents. And there they are standing around your bed, looking at you with large angry eyes, saying, 'We came to you, and only you could have given us life, and now we must die with you forever.' And the question is, if you died today, what dreams, what ideas, what talents, what books, what leadership, what art will die with you?" Miles Monroe, great friend of mine that died a few months ago in a plane crash, he said, "The wealthiest place on the planet is not in the Far East where there's oil in the ground. It's not in South Africa where there are diamond mines." He said, "The wealthiest place on the planet is the cemetery. Because there you'll find potential never realized. There you'll find books never written. There you will find giftedness and abilities that were never used." Maybe that's why one woman asked a question in a moment of anguish. What if you live your whole life only to discover that it was wrong? That it was wrong. Everybody repeat after me again. Live full. Die empty. Shake someone's hand on your right and left and say, "I'm ready to live a bigger life." Do that right now. Say, "I'm ready to live a bigger life." Here's the other thing. As you think about your goals and dreams, it's necessary that you ask yourself the question, what do I bring? How am I going to do that? I told my mama, "Mama, what is it, Leslie? I'm going to buy you a home when I become a man." "You are?" "Yes, I am." "You don't have to do that. I want you to write this down. I'm looking for 21 proteges. I've been doing this for a long time, and it's probably last year. I know my staff's going to be surprised that I'll be speaking publicly. I mean, traveling, but I'm just going to probably just be in one place and spend time with my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren. But write capital letters Les Brown and text to 33444. And everybody do that, because I'm going to share something with you. Write this down. Learn how to speak from the heart. As entrepreneurs, you got to learn how to speak from the heart, how to present. Because you got a business that you are the mouth of that business. As entrepreneurs, as consultants, as life changers, you've got to learn how to begin to be effective in the communication process. Gentleman changed my life. I spoke with his daughter today. Young man, go to the board. I just walked in his class. I was looking for a friend of mine named MacArthur Stevens. He said, "Go to the board and work this problem out for me." I said, "Oh, sir, I can't do that." He said, "Why not?" "I'm not one of your students." "Look at me." "Yes, sir. Go to the board and work the problem out anyhow, as I'm telling you." I said, "Sir, I can't." And the other students started laughing, saying, "He's Leslie. He's got a twin brother, Wesley. Wesley's smart. He's DT." "What's DT?" "He's the dumb twin." And the students erupted in laughter. And I said, "I am, sir." And he came from behind his desk. He looked at me. He said, "Don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality." And that was a turning point in my life. On one hand, I was humiliated. But on the other hand, I was liberated, because he looked at me with the eyes of Goethe. He said, "Look at a man the way that he is, he only becomes worse. But look at him as if he were what he could be, then he becomes what he should be." And he taught me several things. Number one, write this down. Train your mind to serve you. Many people never reach their goals. Why? Because they become victims of what I call weapons of mass distractions. Entrepreneurs have learned how to train their minds to serve them by listening to things that will program their minds, that will create a new mental blueprint in order to achieve the goals that they want. As a man thinketh, so is he. And so you want to train your mind to serve you. The next thing he told me, and this is major, write this down, OQP. Practice OQP. Only quality people. That's what that stands for. You earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. Many people never achieve their goals because they have too many toxic, negative, energy-draining people in their lives. You want to make it as an entrepreneur, you've got to upgrade your relationships. You've got to look at your relationships and ask, what is this relationship doing to me? You don't want to be around people who don't have goals, people who don't have dreams, people who are more concerned about some sporting event than their dreams. You want to be around people that think like you, people that have goals and dreams, that are focused, that want something out of life. And let me tell you something. I'm going to save you some time. Most people don't want anything, including your relatives. Don't try and change them. Can I change them, Les? No. It's a full-time job changing yourself. And there's some people so negative they can walk in a dark room and begin to develop. Oh, behave, whatever. I'm telling you, that's key. You want to create, and write this down, as an entrepreneur, you want to create a network of collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. Collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. Cerny and Michelle, they have skills in technology that I don't have. They live in Malaysia. I'm creating collaborative, achievement-driven, global relationships. And they've helped me to do that. So you want to begin to expand your vision. 2007, Time Magazine did something major. They said the person of the year was a computer. Why would they say that? Because for the first time in the history of the world, everyday people have access to information that the average person never had before. And so now, with a telephone, you can run your business. Now, you have access to anything that you want. Now you can learn anything. You can just Google it. I have a guy who made a video of me that went viral. Over 15 million people. I found him. I said, "How'd you learn how to do this?" He said, "I went out to Los Angeles, wanted to get involved in the acting business, didn't become successful, came back home and thought about what I wanted to do." And he says, "I love to edit." And he said, "I went online and found a course and I taught myself." How many of you know people have done things like that? Raise your hands, please, okay? So there's no excuse for not making it today. You want to increase your skill set. When I decided to be a speaker, I noticed that they were scripted. If you saw them, they would be doing the same speech. So I trained myself, as I train speakers now, how to think on my feet, and write this down, how to create an experience. Speaking is the highest paid profession in the world. I earn more in 1 hour than 90% of the American public earn working for a whole year. And I don't tell you that to impress you, but to impress upon you, we have the tools to do more than ever before. And so as you look at yourself and look at your goals and increase the bar on what it is you want to achieve, you want, in those relationships, you want to have relationships that bring some tools and skills that you don't have. When I asked Mr. Washington, one day he saw me in the dean's office, "What are you doing here?" I said, I got in a fight. "Why?" They call me DT. Mr. Brown, what reason would that give you to fight? I said, they made me mad. Mr. Brown, anger is the wind that blows out the lamp of the mind. Mr. Washington, then how do I get even with them for picking on me? Mr. Brown, I notice you have a good memory. Yes, sir, I do. Here's a quote by Frank Sinatra. Embrace it. What is it, sir? The best revenge is massive success. Find a way to become massively successful. Write that down. The best revenge is massive success. Become focused on the goals and things that you want to achieve.